So real time is the biggest differentiator. Real time across channels. So when you look at this omni-channel experience, and even though Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, they all are trying to argue that they all have sort of the omni-channel aspect, and that's what even we had quoted when we had reviewed them, that the only reason why companies would go for SAP Immerses or Oracle's technology is when they are looking for that omni-channel. And that's what Microsoft is trying to do. But the real differentiator here is that not only they are omni-channel, but they are real-time.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our #1 priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. And if you are joining for the first time, this is part of our industry series for which we meet every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We review one vendor or the solution. And for today, we have another vendor that might be relatively unknown unless you are part of the Shopify ecosystem. But they are super exciting as well as really interesting. So we are going to have a lot of fun discussing that. Before we do that, we are going to start with everybody's intros. I am going to start with my quick intro. Sam Gupta, principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent buy-side analyst and advisory consulting firm. We help customers, select many different technologies, including ERP, CRM, etc. On that note, I am going to move to Andy for his intro.
Well, thank you very much, Sam, and it's always a pleasure, and I always have a great time at your podcast, my friend.
Thank you so much.
My name is Andy Pratico. I've been involved in ERP software, mostly for small to mid-sized manufacturers all over North America. All my life, basically. I work with over 1,000 manufacturers, and I've also authored a book called How to Select Your ERP Without Losing Your Mind or Your Job.
Yeah, you would most certainly lose your mind when you are doing ERP. I guarantee this. That is definitely.
You definitely lose your mind, but maybe some of my advice might add a little common sense for some folks.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Andy, for being here. Always a pleasure having you. Shrestha, do you want to go next?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Hi, everyone. My name is Shrestha Das, and I'm part of the marketing team at Elevate IQ. And I'm super excited to be here today.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for being here once again. And if you're in the audience, joining for the first time, make sure you guys post your questions, comments. We always like to review what you guys are feeling. If you guys have any sort of stories that we might be able to review, generally we incorporate that as part of our review. If you have any sort of experiences, either with this platform or any sort of competitive, platforms, please do share them in the comments. We love to review them. On that note, I'm going to start with the quick briefing, guys. And we have reviewed a lot of different systems this year, Andy, and Shrestha, you have attended a lot of them as well. This sort of segment is more about CRM technologies. There are many different CRM and CX technologies out there. Sometimes there's going to be overlap, a lot of overlap. It's very, very, very difficult even for us, to be completely honest. So last week, I believe we reviewed Klaviyo, and after doing 500 sessions, I guess, and if you guys have not checked all of those, go to YouTube, check them out. We have been doing these sessions for last couple of years, okay? And now we are also getting confused because of all of this, because of, there's just so much overlap, and there's just so much about these technologies. But I think, the session that we did last week was Klaviyo.
Okay. It's just evaluating all these systems. It's always interesting every week that we do this, Sam. But obviously, I know CRM pretty good too, but my expertise is ERP. But it's amazing how marketing can cloud your judgment. Because when you see it on the surface, tip of the iceberg, you think it's amazing. And then you get in the middle of it and you realize, ooh.
Yeah, and to be completely fair with them, I mean, it's not that they are just clouding your judgment, they are also kind of clouding their own judgment because they just don't know what they don't know. So,
True. That's that's like ERP salespeople, right? They don't know
exactly.
what they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the major problem is. It's just too deep, and it's very, very, very
Oh
hard to.
my goodness. It's so thick, it's so deep. And anyways, over to you, Sam.
Yeah, so we'll continue with the briefing. So, guys, I was telling you that, okay, we are reviewing a lot of different competitive technologies. So, obviously, when you are reviewing Klaviyo, you are probably going to come across Braze. And a lot of people think that these are very similar technologies, but they are substantially different. And that's exactly what we are going to talk today, where they are different. Overall, when you look at this category, this is still very marketing automation centric category. But before we dig deeper into this, I want to touch on some of the sources that we have been highlighting each time, and a little bit about our methodology as well. Just because a lot of people might be joining for the first time, they may not have reviewed any of our previous sessions, so it's kind of harder for them to follow, and that's why we like to touch on these things every single week, so that we have a little bit of alignment in terms of where we are getting our information. So number one source, if it is available, we always like to trust financial statements, because vendors have a little bit of legal obligation, and the target audience is very different. In this case, they are targeting their investors, and they are not supposed to overquote, overcommit. That's why for us, the first reliable source always is going to be financial statements, but not every company on this earth is going to be a public company. So that's why we don't have that information available for every company out there. In this case, we are lucky we have financial statements available, so we will find a lot more credible information in general. And then we also like to touch on some of the historical news stories, and that we have done for this session as well. The overarching intent is that we are sort of tracking over time how they have changed their position, where they started, and we are sort of trying to forecast their roadmap as well. Obviously, they are going to say what they are going to say, but sometimes they have to overcommit. So that's where we are sort of kind of holding them accountable for these things by analyzing the historical data points. In 90% of the cases, the vendors are going to be right. They are going to be probably in their lane, but in some cases, they also overcommit. And we like to, flag that out. Then we also try to align that with, okay, is this just a marketing spin, or do we have substantial differences in the product design as well? So in this particular case, we are going to analyze the product design, and then finally user voice, which comes from either Reddit threads or any of the review sources. But then we are not simply reading the reviews. We are analyzing, what is the user's background, because reviews are all over the place as well. Sometimes they are going to be bought. So we are really looking for very interesting details, and we are trying to connect the dots if those might be true. And we also look for trends across those reviews as well. So that's the underlying methodology. For today, we are just going to cover 4 sources, just because hopefully we can cover all of them. We are going to have 20 slides, and it's very difficult to capture all of this information in one session. We'll try our best. Now, coming back to the category as well as today's session, which is obviously Braze, and this is the marketing automation category. And when you look at marketing automation category, obviously that is going to be a bucket inside your CRM. You're going to have Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Customer Service Cloud. However, companies want to brand them or package them as part of the product. But this is really the marketing automation category. That's how they are going to be, positioning. But we have seen overlaps between marketing automation, a little bit of CDP. Sometimes that also overlaps with the customer experience use cases, because you are getting sort of in the telco workflows as well. So you are going to see a lot of overlap there. So in this particular case, if you look at the platform, you are going to feel that this is probably some sort of campaign management platform or the marketing automation platform. So how is this going to be different with any other marketing automation platforms out there? Some of the examples are going to be, HubSpots of the world, or Active Campaigns of the world, or Klaviyos of the world. In this case, this is Braze. But again, this is substantially different. Okay. So the overarching intent of this platform is going to be, and I'm going to throw a keyword, and the keyword is going to be real-time interaction. Okay.
Real-time interaction?
Yeah, exactly. real-time interaction for the B2C workflows, meaning when you are interacting with your customers or users in real time. Now, that is debatable as well, and we will show you evidence of that as well, because some customers felt that they were not real time. Other vendor was more real time. so so people have argued for that as well, but the overarching intent is here is the real time interaction, especially through mobile channels. That is their fundamental positioning in the market. And let me describe what real time experience means. This is going to be, let's say, if you're watching an ad on TV and you are trying to interact with your interfaces in real time, providing the feedback, changing the interfaces in real time, the way you are going to watch a news. And in news, you must have seen either the internal audience or the external audience engaging with the content, and then probably a survey is going to pop up, something along those lines. That's the fundamental core of what Braze is trying to do, which is fundamentally different from what Klaviyo is doing, even though, again, if you look at it at the surface level, they all are going to be very similar. Okay, these guys started with mobile, and they were very deep. It is a very enterprise grade platform, not meant for SMBs. Klaviyo was very SMB centric platform. This is a very enterprise grade platform. SMBs are not going to have the kind of technical skills that is going to be required to be successful with this platform. That's why it is intentionally technical. It is going to be intentionally difficult. If somebody says that this is not easy to use, it's not meant to be easy to use. Okay, because this is supposed to be an enterprise platform. So make sure you guys read between the lines. So here, when you say campaign management, we are going to have SMS push in app meaning in mobile app. These are some of the interactions. You are going to have connected TV. WhatsApp was kind of missing with Klaviyo. So here you are going to get the WhatsApp interaction as well. Again, these are all B2C centric workflows. If you are looking for these workflows inside HubSpot, you might not find those. And the reason why you might not find those is because HubSpot is not necessarily positioned for B2C verticals, and there those pop-ups are not going to make much sense. This is really for the consumer-centric verticals, like individuals who are buying very commoditized products such as your fashion accessory. For those verticals, the workflows are going to be very different, and that's why you need to read between the lines when you are reviewing, analyzing, these products. They are meant to be substantially different. They are not meant to be similar. But again, if you're simply reading marketing material, they all will come across as very, very, very similar. Okay, these guys, their background was mobile first. So one of the interesting observation that you are going to have with this is that they have not mentioned their global presence, even though this is probably going to be a very global platform as well. Klaviyo was very upfront that the kind of challenges that they were dealing with, when they were trying to roll this out globally, there could be two possibilities why this may be the case. Number one is that these guys may be reliant on another platform underneath. They might not have their own core SMS capabilities, so they don't need to go through those regulatory and technical hurdles in integrating with every single carrier out there. That could be one possibility. And Klaviyo may have their own technology, their own development. They were buying a lot of technical technologies for whatever reason. I don't understand that, to be completely from their perspective.
They were buying a ton of technologies.
Yeah, but I mean, their focus is really user experience. Their space is very different. When you deal in the SMB space, you are going to prioritize user experience. When you are dealing in the enterprise space, your priorities are going to be slightly different. You are also looking for enterprise workflow security. It's a very different data model. It's a very different process model as well. So the product that is going to be designed for enterprises is not necessarily going to be as efficient for SMBs. And the products that are going to be designed for SMBs, they are just not going to work for enterprises. So these two are completely different and distinct markets, and you need to understand that. Based on the design and data model, obviously every product out there is going to be overselling in every single market out there. But the overarching intent of this product is for the enterprise market. The overarching intent of the Klaviyo is really for the SME market, the way it is designed. They started as more of the mobile first platform, so they had a lot more firepower in the mobile world. It's a very different technology underneath. They were using the event centric technology, Klaviyo, if I remember correctly. meaning you are simply capturing the events from your webhooks, whatever. These guys are using the real streaming technology. And when I say streaming technology, this technology you are going to find with any of the chat apps. For example, if you look at WhatsApp, the reason why WhatsApp is so powerful and it is so real time is because of that streaming technology, and these guys are able to use that. So there is a fundamental difference between these two technologies. Again, even though they both are used for very similar use cases. So here the category is very different, and sometimes analyst firms, they are really smart. The way they bucket these technologies, people just don't know how to read the quadrants, to be completely honest, to be completely fair with them. Okay. So here you have categories such as multi-channel marketing, and in multi-channel marketing you are not going to find any of the traditional CRM players. Can you believe this? Okay, and we will review those quadrants as well as part of the review today. So here, as part of the multi-channel marketing, you have players such as Adobe, a CRM player. Come on, are you seriously kidding me? Sure, they have marketing automation, they have Marketo, but they are never sort of known as the mainstream CRM player. But they have a lot of deep capabilities in this particular space, which is going to be multi-channel marketing, especially for B2C, and that's why they were really strong in their event technology. Okay. So now, if you look at CRM, I mean, what are the mainstream CRMs? You would never think about Adobe, right? You are always going to think maybe Salesforce, maybe HubSpot, but you are not going to find HubSpot here.
Is Adobe a CRM at all?
So Adobe, I would not call it a CRM. They have marketing automation platform.
Right.
They have enterprise grade marketing automation platform, but I don't think they have full-fledged CRM. But for B2C, you don't need CRM.
No.
B2C never had a CRM. B2C had a CDP. So again, the priorities are different in these two verticals. In a lot of ways, I mean, companies didn't even know who their customers were in the B2C space. And a lot of times, if they are going to have some sort of CRM, either that CRM is going to be tightly integrated with some sort of POS, or it's going to be all over, or maybe e-commerce. We have seen e-commerce, CRM tightly embedded with the e-commerce layers as well. But there is no consistent definition in terms of what is a CRM for the B2C verticals, and that's why it is so interesting. And the reason why Adobe is a main competitor here for this technology is because Adobe is focusing on B2C. So if you are buying marketing for B2B, you are probably buying a wrong product. Then you have Salesforce, and we are going to have interesting observation about Salesforce as well. Salesforce is going to claim they are also in the B2C space, but they are primarily B2B. For the most part. Players such as Optimove or Optimove, I don't know how. What is this, Andy?
I've never heard of it before. I don't know. I'll find out.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know if it is Optimove or Optimove or whatever that is. But I mean, we have never seen them before, right? You have players such as Acoustic, right? You have SAP Immersis. SAP Immersis, when we reviewed them, we were thinking that they are more of CDP. And CDP is going to be relevant for B2C. And again, what is SAP doing there? It's very interesting, right? But Immersis is probably going to be competing with these technologies. The core positioning of Immersis was this, which is generally either overstated or, misunderstood, I would say. Then you have another category that a lot of analyst firms are talking about, which is the cross-channel marketing hubs. And in cross-channel marketing hubs, you have many different players. Okay, you have players such as your Mo Engage. Can you believe this? Okay, we have never heard of them, right? But they are going to be equally big company when we review them. We are going to review them next year. But these companies are not even there. And the reason why they are not there is because they are more into this whole telco play, customer experience play, which is a very different play than a real CRM. So that's why it is different. But Mo Engage is most certainly a competitor to this technology because we are getting into more of the the telco play, and telco meaning telecom, obviously. Then you have MS Customer Insights, and MS Customer Insights is sort of positioned here. So it's very interesting how analyst firms are going to interpret these things, but they are also sort of reading between the lines based on the capabilities that these vendors are trying to provide, because every one of these technologies are going to have substantial overlap in general. So it becomes very confusing. Okay, where do I put them? Each industry is going to be very different. They're going to have very different use cases. So that's why MS Customer Insights is sort of positioned here. Now, the real competitors that you are going to have, that you're going to find, because most of the time, the people or the companies that are buying something like Braze, they are probably going to be in Shopify ecosystem. Okay, so in Shopify ecosystem, the other players that you're going to find that are going to be closer competitor, especially if we talk about the real time aspect of the marketing automation. Okay, when you say real time, the only competitor that is probably going to be closer to this is probably going to be Bloomreach. Okay, you might consider Klaviyo as the competitor, but number one, Klaviyo is more of the SMB players. Number two, they don't necessarily have those real time interaction, so they are not as fit for B2C, especially in B2C, if you care for those real time interactions. Okay, the industries where you're going to find, they are very similar to Klaviyo, but again, wherever you are going to have that real time interaction, that's where you are going to find these guys. Okay, which is going to be your retail, media, finance, consumer finance, I would say, tech, B2C. That's where you're going to find these guys. That's where they are making the biggest impact, I would say. I'll keep moving here unless you guys have any comments. Okay, so we have some comments, and again, this is coming from financial statements, and they are talking about Braze is a leading customer engagement platform. So they are calling them as completely different category. Can you believe this? Okay, even though it's supposed to be marketing automation, but they are calling this as more of the customer engagement platform. And with investors, you need to be super tight. Okay, number one,
I like that name.
It is a great name, but I mean, look, analyst firms, they have to come up with newer categories if
they do.
cannot.
That's why they're paid so much.
Well, that is one factor, but the major factor I would say is that if they cannot really fit in with the existing category, then you have to create newer category. It's just not fair for the newer technology. If they have a real innovation, it's just not fair to bucket them under the existing category. It would not make any sense, and that's why they are doing that. This is a fair arrangement. Obviously, some are going to be category pioneers, and now this category is equally crowded. That's why you're going to find a lot of players in this market. But here they are talking about their customer engagement platform that powers lasting connections between consumers and brands they love. They are extremely clear with the word consumer, and obviously brands is used more from the retail perspective. And these guys are definitely retail player. Braze allows any marketers to collect and take action on any amount of data from any source, so they can collectively engage with customers in real time. The only difference here is the real time. Everything else is fairly similar to when you are going to read Klaviyo or Microsoft. So real time is the biggest differentiator. Real time across channels. So when you look at this omni-channel experience, and even though Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, they all are trying to argue that they all have sort of the omni-channel aspect, and that's what even we had quoted when we had reviewed them, that the only reason why companies would go for SAP Immersis or Oracle's technology is when they are looking for that omni-channel, and that's what Microsoft is trying to do. But the real differentiator here is that not only they are omni-channel, but they are real time, and I don't know if those companies are going to have these capabilities. So there is a real differentiator, and that you are going to see inside those quadrants as well, with the analyst firms. Here, we are seeing from cross-channel messaging and journey orchestration to AI-powered experimentation and optimization, Braze enables companies to build and maintain absolutely engaging relationships with their customers. Okay, sure.
There's a mouthful.
Exactly. I mean, the only thing I would pick on is probably loyalty, to be completely honest, because in B2C, loyalty matters a lot. So loyalty is a fairly new term that I don't think anybody would use unless they are operating in the B2C centric verticals. And overall, I guess in terms of revenue, when you compare this with Klaviyo was roughly $1 billion, I would say, in terms of their revenue. These guys are roughly 500 million. They are not going to have as many logos because these logos are, slightly more enterprise big, and that's why they are going to have 150,000. These guys have close to like 2,000 customers. So that's a real differentiator. But if you look at the number of transactions, etc., it's pretty big. They're growing okay. I would say 26% is a lot. Klaviyo was very hot. I think they were at like 35% or something. If I remember correctly. So obviously these guys are growing as well. Enterprise deals are harder in general. That's why you're not going to have the same growth rate. So whatever we are seeing is fairly spot on. Now we'll keep reading here. So this is also coming from financial statements, and sometimes it could be very hard to get the real information from financial statements because they are PDF and they don't render as well. So it's going to appear very ugly in general. So I apologize for that if they are not as readable, but that's how financial statements work, I guess. So here they have a trademark mark called Be Absolutely Engaging. Okay, that is the fundamental premise, the way they have promoted their brand. It was a new category, and that's why they had to do all of this, which is just mind-blowing. Customer
I
engagement.
love it.
Yeah, exactly. And here they have a claim, Andy. So they are saying customer engagement is an emerging category of business activity and software, which we define as the full set of activities that companies use to build and maintain direct, meaningful relationships with their customers. Again, they have not used the term called marketing automation. They might use it somewhere, but it's very rare. Okay, if we remember from Klaviyo, Klaviyo was using first-party data everywhere, literally. They were using events a lot, but they were not using the customer engagement term because, again, that's not designed for the kind of customer engagement, at least what these guys are selling, especially real-time aspect of it. Here they are saying our platform empowers brands to listen to their customers better, understand them more deeply, and acts on that understanding in a way that is human and personal. That is all a little marketing spin, I would say. So I'm not going to touch on that. I'll keep moving here. So Braze was founded in 2011, which is very close to, I guess, I don't remember the date for Klaviyo, but it seems very similar. So they have been in the market for roughly 13 years now, which is fairly new in my mind. In response to the step change in human history, ushered by the smartphone, and again they have used the word smartphone because they were very mobile first, where we begin. And I guess in 2011, where is this whole mobility movement started? I guess smartphones became mainstream in what, like 2008, 2005, or
Something like that. Yeah.
right? Yeah. Before that, we didn't have smartphones, so these guys were really ahead in the game. That smartphones were going to become really big channel, and obviously that's what we are seeing. People are living on smartphones right now, where we began to become significantly more connected to each other and to the products and services that brands compete to sell to us. And then they are saying many brands across a myriad of digital and physical. So they are talking about digital and physical touch points. And physical is very, very, very important because these touch points are also going to be inside the store, on your bus terminals, whatever. So their omni-channel is fairly omni-channel, I would say. The first-party data generated from digital, and now they are talking about first-party data as well, from digital experiences and the increased number of consumer touch points. That's what they are talking about, and that's what is whole headless movement is about, and these guys are talking about that as well. Consumer touchpoints have provided brands with new opportunities to reach, customers and personalize brand experiences. They are talking about consumer expectations for highly relevant, personalized, and seamless cross-channel interactions. Again, this is a very similar pitch as any other marketing automation platform. The only difference really is that real-time aspect.
Real time.
Yeah. Most cross-channel marketing automation. So now they are talking about most cross-channel marketing automation platform. They are sort of being deliberate about cross-channel marketing automation platform. In 2024, I guess everybody's going to claim that they are all cross-channel, but there are very few that are really cross-channel. Marketing automation platforms available today approach customer engagement on a channel by channel basis, which is a fair argument in my mind. Then they are saying engagement silos that result in disjointed customer experiences and diminishes customer loyalty, which is right as well. And that's why this is so hot. Our platform empowers real-time engagement between brands and their customers, and that's where the power is. That's where the real power is. We enable is crucial and is made possible by our proprietary enterprise-grade stream processing architecture. And that's where the real power is. I don't think anybody has used the stream processing architecture so far. We'll review Bloomreach, and I don't know what they are using, but that's where the real differentiation is. In my mind, most people will not understand how that translates into the business process, business activity. But this is where the real power is, and that's why this is distinctly different. This architecture receives, contextualizes instantaneously, enabling marketers to run engagement campaigns and messaging that feel relevant and personal. Our platform is also designed to serve the needs of customers across sizes, stages of growth, industries, and geographies. Okay, in my mind, that's a little overstatement, to be completely honest, because number one, this is supposed to be more of the enterprise platform, not meant for SMBs. I don't think they'll have the real implementation dollars. That is number one, and the need as well, unless you really care for real-time experience. So again, this is a very enterprise-centric platform. Geographies, I would say we need to review that further. I'm not going to make a comment on that because Klaviyo was really struggling across geographies. So how they are enabling that experience, we need to find that out. But in general, the phone rollout is going to be substantially difficult than any other channels like your social media or email, just because of the regulatory constraints. And each country you are going to have very different carriers and telcos. And then they are talking about our customers include many established global enterprises and leading technology innovators. We employ a land and expand business model centered around offering products that are easy to adopt and have a rapid time to value. We expand our reach within existing customers. When our customers add new channels, this is a very similar pitch as Klaviyo. So their pricing model is going to be per channel, which means you are going to receive substantial shock. Once you have started using this, the pricing is designed strategically. Obviously, for investors, that is good because they are all trying to make money. For you, it might not be as good. Purchase additional subscription products, implement new engagement strategies, or onboard new business units and geographies. Again, pricing model is very similar to Klaviyo. No differences there. We also grow as our customers grow, because that's not true at all. Okay, sometimes you might just increase the number of messages. That does not mean that you are going to grow, but obviously the vendor is always going to argue that we are charging the fair pricing. That's not how consumption-based pricing works. It is sold that way, but that is not necessarily true. Okay, but very similar pitch as any other consumption-based pricing. So I'll stop there, I guess. Then you have the key aspect of Braze differentiation is that we offer a platform, not just a point solution. Sure, and gives brands an end-to-end solution for achieving their customer engagement, not just a tool to send messages. Sure, again, marketing hype. I don't think we have much meaning there. We vertically integrate our data ingestion, orchestration, classification, and personalization capabilities. So coordinating between them is simple and fast. Again, I mean, that's a very similar pitch as what Klaviyo was trying to say, but I have to admit, okay, these financial statements, they are done really, really well. So I'll give them a kudos for that. Okay, this particular CFO, whoever is there, they really know what they are doing. They are very tight, with their description and messaging. So wonderful job there. Then we abstract away the particulars of disparate data sources and the vagaries of many messaging channels we support. Okay, great. I don't have anything else here. I'm not seeing anything else. Okay, I'll keep moving here. So this product architecture supports differentiated use of AI and machine learning through, again, very similar pitch as Klaviyo. So I'm not seeing much difference there. And guys, I mean, I know that I'm using Klaviyo a lot. If you guys have not checked Klaviyo presentation, you should go back and then probably check that. And then probably it will make a little bit more sense, how we do our reviews. But sometimes it could be harder to follow because we are obviously referencing our previous sessions as well. If you have not listened to those, it might be harder to follow. Okay, one thing, the only thing I would mention here is their SDK. So they have a real SDK, and SDK is used because you are going to have many, many, many different technologies, Android, iOS, TV. Each of those hardware technologies are going to be different, and that's why they have a real SDK. It's not going to be as easy as Klaviyo, where you are never going to see SDK, I guess. The purpose is very different. I don't have anything else. Okay, let's keep moving here. They are saying here they are talking about their messaging channels. So they are saying our messaging channels consist of in-app messages. In-app messages, they are saying in-product messaging to app on connected TV platform. In my mind, that is powerful. That is the real power. When you can interact with your consumers as they are watching any sort of movie or video, that's a real power. In browser messages, can you believe that? Surveys, mobile, web, push, notifications, email, SMS, and MMS messages. Can you believe this? WhatsApp messaging, webhooks and content cards. And again, if you look at the number of channels that they are able to support, I don't know if anybody else can match this, to be completely honest. So far we have reviewed at least 10 platforms right now. So they have the most diversification.
This is really powerful.
It's deep.
I'm sure it's very expensive.
It is very expensive. It's supposed to be enterprise, Andy. Supposed to be enterprise, which are flexible, content-rich messages embedded in a mobile app and web browsers, and feature flags. They have a little bit of social media flavor as well. Which I don't think Klaviyo was very explicit, but in our mind, social media interaction is going to be easy. But if you talk about real-time interaction, and I think this is exactly what Dave was referring to, and I don't know if they are able to use the real-time social media interaction. If they are able to do that, this is a pure gold. I can tell you that right now from consumers' perspective. Okay, now they are talking about, so you are going to see a lot more technologies in general, because again, this is number one, an enterprise platform, and number two, they need real data. So you are going to see, so they are saying our customers to set up a direct connection between their data warehouses, which is very common in the retail space. So you are going to find players such as your Snowflakes of the world or Databricks of the world, and they are bringing all of that data to be able to do this real-time interaction. So they, between their data warehouses or platforms, and Braze to automatically sync relevant user attributes. And these user attributes are powerful. Companies never had access to these user attributes. Obviously, don't talk about taking action on those attributes. So here, not only you are able to capture every single attribute, meaning when you are engaging with whatever TV you are on, they are capturing an attribute and you are able to take action based on that. That's a real power, guys. Events, and now they have used events, but in my mind, user attributes are far more powerful, and that's their real differentiator. They just don't have events; they also have user attributes as well. Purchases. Cloud, and they are talking about many different players here. Cloud data service providers such as, and they are utilizing a lot of different data sets, such as your Amazon Redshift, Databricks, and they are going to bring their own industry data sets as well that you can overlay on top of your first-party data, internal data, etc. So again, that's where the real power is. Overlaying the weather data or whatever data that you need from the external third-party sources. And taking actions based on that. Databricks, Google BigQuery, and Snowflake, and they all are data warehouse technologies. Now, then you have the CDP technologies as well, okay? So they are talking about customer data management platform, which is probably kind of CDP, but that is also sort of CDMP. So I don't know where you draw the line, but they are talking about, players such as Ritter Stack. They are talking about Amplitude, and we are going to review them as well. And going to review, okay, where they stand, I guess, in terms of their offerings. So you have a lot of different customer data management platforms as well, and we'll show you, how different they are. Okay, some more comments here. Then we have the real-time nature of the interactions we enable is made possible by our, now they are talking about their technology, proprietary enterprise-grade stream processing architecture, which is uniquely different. The architecture receives, contextualizes, and reacts to first-party customer data in the moment. Okay, again, that's the WhatsApp formula, whatever WhatsApp is trying to do, real-time interaction. That's exactly what the same architecture here, but for different purpose. Our platform allows for high-volume, continuous streaming of user data. The stream is probably the keyword they have used a lot, which is the right way of describing their technology. user data to be processed in real time, providing a live understanding of many interactions that consumers are having with a brand. That's where the real power is. Unlike batch processing, now they have contrasted with batch processing, and 90% of the technologies that we have in the market would qualify as batch processing, and I'm glad that they have used that terminology. So that is not going to be real time. It's going to be batch processing, where data is processed only when a specific time or threshold is hit. Our data streaming architecture processes each unit of data as it is created. Can you believe this? It's powerful. Real-time data processing, enhances messaging relevance, in contrast to batch processing, where delayed data processing often leads to irrelevant messages and frustrated customers, which is right as well. But how quantifiable that frustration is, and whether you are going to pay $1 million for that, I'm not too sure about that. But there is a real play here. Okay, so they have given a use case here. So they are saying a food delivery app may combine a consumer's food preferences with weather data to either send a campaign to encourage a consumer to order in their favorite food. Weather, raining, you are going to order a specific type of food, you are going to send a coupon, and that's going to work, right? So that's what is happening here, which is extremely powerful from the B2C perspective. When a favorite article of clothing goes on sale after confirming with it, now they are talking about confirming with inventory management technology. That could be ERP, I guess. So ERP is meeting here, right? Unless you are capturing the inventory inside your POS, OMS, e-commerce, I don't know where all, maybe WMS, you never know. It could be everywhere, right? So now where are you going to get this data from, and how real time is that going to be? That's a question, guys, right? But obviously this is probably coming from data warehouse, which was never meant to be real time. So again,
well, that's kind of like oxymoron, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. But I mean, it's a interesting architecture. I mean, they are able to accomplish this much. What I'm trying to say is, I mean, I don't think it is ever going to be like super real time, and you probably don't need that. But this is probably the closest you can get, I guess. Yeah, but I mean,
how often the data warehouse is updated, right?
Exactly, and there are always going to be pros and cons of every single architecture. So it's never as straightforward that we are going to have like super real-time experience right now. Can you bring that? It doesn't work that way, right? So the question is, I mean, how you are going to design all of your processes, how you are going to design the architecture. I guess there are going to be multiple perspectives that you need to balance along with this particular experience. That is going to be a real-time interactive experience, which is powerful. And they are talking about some of their verticals where they are selling. They are saying retail, media, entertainment, on-demand services, gaming, health and lifestyle, financial services. This is where the play is for this technology, to be completely honest. Gaming, come on. You can mint real money. Okay. They are saying where direct-to-consumer relationships are accelerating to further propel adoption of our technologies, such as consumables. Now they are talking about Industry 4.0 a little bit, I guess. But I don't know how applicable it is going to be there. We'll find out, I guess. Then they are saying our SDKs can be integrated into a wide variety of digital interfaces, including iOS, Android, desktop, mobile web, connected TV, the Unity and Unreal game engines and application development frameworks such as React Native and Cordova. I don't know.
Sorry, what does Unreal game engines mean?
They are going to be all of those gaming console, I guess. I mean, that people use, and they are able to integrate.
That are Unreal.
They are absolutely unreal, Andy. They are not meant to be real. Come on. Okay. Okay, I'll keep moving here. So obviously, I mean, they are able to cover a lot of different grounds, which we have not seen with any other vendor so far. Okay, I'll keep moving here unless you guys have any other comments. Now they are talking about partner data integration, and they have mentioned some of the names that we have not come across so far. So this is a very interesting space, and the deeper that we get, the more kind of worms we are finding, right? So here they are saying brands can sync user cohorts from partners such as Amplitude, Telium or Mix panel to our platform, right? And again, we are going to review them in terms of where their data sets are different, but they're extremely powerful. I can tell you that right now. We have seen the kind of data that they are carrying. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. You can do wonders, from the marketing perspective. They can use membership in these user cohorts as additional criteria in the Blaze classification layer. Retail brands can also sync e-commerce data directly from Shopify. I guess that depends upon your architecture. It's sort of not lining up because Shopify, primarily in my mind, is a very SME centric platform. Sure, they are going to have some enterprise logo, but they're not going to have as many, at least as of today. Now they are talking about some of the enterprise capabilities here. They are saying we provide audit logs for major actions that occur in our platform, change logs for updates to objects such as campaigns, segments, and canvases. These objects are very similar to what you were seeing, for example, with Klaviyo. The naming is slightly different, I would say. But the audit log is the real enterprise grade capabilities, because sometimes you are probably going to have the compliance issues, GDPR, etc. And that's why they have to do this, and that's why this is a very enterprise-centric platform. Then they are doing the permissions, versioning, approval flow capabilities. Can you believe this? And sometimes approval flows are only going to be applicable for enterprises, because you are going to have, let's say, if you are selling a product, $5 coupon, no problem, go for it. But then there are also going to be scenarios where you are probably selling $5,000, and then that has to go through the enterprise approval process, because CFO is probably going to be involved there. So that's why the enterprise capabilities are very different, and that's why we believe that these guys are real enterprise-centric platform. They are talking about access controls and security. One of the major differentiator across these platforms, when you are going to review them, especially the enterprise ones, you are going to find very deep layers of workflow and security that you are not going to find with the SME players. So again, they are saying we provide a complete set of role-based access controls to large global teams, and they have used the term large global teams because it has to be global when you are enterprise to manage our platform effectively. They have the ACLs, access control mechanisms, and that's why, again, it is a very enterprise-grade platform. They have called out some of the marketing automation platforms. So I'll read this. The market for customer engagement solutions is evolving and highly competitive. These are several established and emerging competitors that address specific aspects of customer engagement, but we believe that none of our competitors currently offer comparable, comprehensive customer engagement solutions. We face intense competition from software companies that offer marketing solutions such as legacy marketing clouds, and they have called out Salesforce as legacy. It could be debatable. Adobe and Salesforce both. Adobe is fairly legacy, I would say, but Salesforce is legacy as well. Can you believe this? And then they are calling some of the point solutions such as your Airship, iDriver, Klaviyo, CleverTap, and MoEngage. They have clearly flagged them out. I don't know whether Klaviyo is going to be point. That's very interesting comment. But I would say they are probably going to be SMB-centric solution. They are not going to have as much channel coverage as these guys, but they are different. They are just different. Competitors willing to sell customer data in markets where such activity is permissible may have a pricing advantage over us. So what that means is they are not selling the data. Some vendors are actually selling the data. So you need to be really careful. Okay, it's not going to be personally identifiable data, but they are still selling. So if some of the consumers are going to have problem with that, there might be lawsuits around that. So you need to be super careful when you're dealing with consumer data. Now they are talking about their growth. So one of the things that we have not found so far in this presentation is their revenue. So they are roughly 471 million in 2024, 355 in 2023, and 238 in 2022, and the 471 is nearly half of what Klaviyo was in my mind. Right, Andy?
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this growth is 33% over the last 3 years is pretty amazing.
It's mind blowing. Yeah,
Year over year is what I meant.
Yeah, this is saying 33%, maybe in 2023, but there we had 26%. So I don't know. Some wires are getting crossed here. What's their real? I don't know whether we are reading it right.
Well, it looks like from 22 to 23, they increased 120 million, but then from 23 to 24, it was more like 120 million again.
Yeah, I mean, look, anything over 25 is pretty good, man. I mean, like, where are we going to find that?
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So this is the again, we are going to cover some of these stories. I don't think we are going to have time to cover everything. So we have just completed the financial statement section, and now some stories. So one brief comment here. They were called App Boy before. App Boy. That was the name, and I think the reason why they had
superhero, doesn't it?
It sounds like a superhero. You are so right, Andy. We can probably make a movie out of it, right?
Yes.
But I think the reason why they must have named that is because they were very mobile centric. That would be my interpretation of it. And that's why they had to decouple from that, and now they have to call Braze, and I have no idea what that means, to be completely honest. But Braze and real time, I don't know if they sort of line up, but there is a possibility. Okay. Andy, do you have any background on Braze? Is it like Braze or Breeze or no? No? No?
For okay. Which one?
Braze, the name.
Braze?
Yeah. What it means. Where it is coming from. Do you know?
Well, it's short for brazen.
Brazing. And help me understand. So real time.
Brazen means bold, means.
Yeah, and that's where.
Aggressive means,
Yeah. And
outgoing.
It's not lining up, I guess, in my mind at least. I mean, when you say real time and you are trying to translate that, I guess. I don't know.
No, I don't think it really has an analogy there. But
yeah, maybe they are bold and sexy.
I think Apple had more of an analogy.
Yeah, I mean, Apple at least have a story, why they named, I guess. Right? And it's very visible. Okay, so here they are talking about, this is obviously the oldest story that you could find. So here, they were funded roughly about 80 million in Series E round by this company, which was also investor in Facebook, MuleSoft, and Salesforce. So that's their background. They're really good, obviously. They kind of created Salesforce and MuleSoft as well, and Facebook. Wow. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
The latest infusion, so they have a lot of B2C background. They also have a lot of integration background, and then CRM, B2B, very interesting mix. This latest infusion of capital brings Braze to roughly what 130 million raised in just over a year, and has more than doubled its valuation to $850 million in 2017. Can you believe this? It's mind-blowing how expensive these technologies and companies are, but obviously they are doing wonders, and that's why customers are willing to pay for them. Okay, so Braze boasts over 500 digital-first enterprise brand customers, and they have named them, which is ABC News, AccuWeather, Delivery Hero, HBO, Lyft, Jet.com, KFC Australia, Microsoft, Redmart, the Scheme, I have no idea who they are, Venmo.
Have you heard of any of those?
90% of those.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah, never heard of them, right, Andy?
No, they're all brand new. They're all startups.
New startups,
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. Okay. So one common thread that you're going to find here is going to be consumer aspect of things, because that's where real time is going to be really relevant. So that's why they have these enterprise consumer centric logo. Braze powers tens of billions of messages delivered to over 1.5 billion monthly active users globally, which is obviously a lot. The thickness of these logos, it's mind blowing. Braze processed roughly 1 trillion engagement events. They are also calling events, which is interesting because even Klaviyo is doing that. But I don't think they are doing at the enterprise grade, and they don't have the streaming technology. Okay, So now this is the second story that is coming from the leading global consumer customer engagement platform and Snowflake. The data warehouse built for cloud announced a partnership. Snowflake, what they were trying to do is they were trying to commercialize a lot of different data products. Any data products can sell their data products on Snowflake platform. That was sort of their marketplace, and that data set becomes extremely powerful with Braze, and that's why this partnership is really unique. So they are talking about announce a partnership today that will provide marketers with improved data agility and customer engagement benchmarks. Again, extremely powerful, and these benchmarks nobody had access to those, and now companies have, which is where the real power is. Now can join multiple sources of data via Snowflake secure data sharing, giving brands the ability to examine customer engagement data across their ecosystem. In addition, now all of these companies are also launching their benchmarks. So retail companies can sort of gauge how good they are doing. Again, that is very powerful as well. So they have their own sort of benchmarks, and generally these benchmarks were provided by the analyst firms, but this is real data. Analyst firms, they were simply forecasting. Sometimes they might have real data, but generally they are forecasting. So this is again extremely powerful. So I guess we are going to stop there. We cannot cover any more. We'll probably come back after a few years and we'll do the remaining. But for now, I think this is what this is where we'll finish. Andy, Trista, comments?
Yeah, I looked up what Braze what means.
Yeah.
I was a little bit wrong. I was using it as it means form, fix, or join by soldering with an alloy of copper and zinc at high temperature.
Yeah, that was
So
my
maybe
recollection
it's
as well.
like what's that?
That was my recollection as well. That it's sort of yeah.
I thought it was short for the other word, but
Yeah.
no, that totally makes sense. It's like it's a fabrication term, I guess.
It almost sounds like a variant of brass, like the how the process would work for brass, I guess. And
yeah, you're right.
Is it? I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing here. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're right. But it's interesting that, I mean, I guess what they're saying is it joins customers and their products to the audience, which
infusing.
is kind of an interesting name.
Yeah, infusing. I guess that's what they are doing. So it's probably right. Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what I really love. I mean, first off, this product is so enterprise, and as I focus on small to mid-size, it's like, way over my head. But the first thing I really loved is their marketing department. The words they use, man, I was writing down all kinds of little notes and ideas here because I thought, wow, it's a really cool way to describe. Well, it's not really CRM. They call it customer engagement platform or real-time integration, engagement between brand and their customers.
Yeah.
Or be absolutely engaging. Like these are all really, really, you can tell their marketing is first class.
Just to be clear, I guess, I mean, these are financial statements and they are not written by marketing.
I know.
Probably
I'm sure the marketing helped write them.
Probably. I mean, if they over-influence, they would be in jail, I guess. So
no, you're not exaggerating. It's just very descriptive.
Yeah.
Right. The point is that this product is for the right size company. Holy cow! Do you have any idea what the price point is, or no?
It's expensive.
You don't know?
For sure.
Millions, I'm sure.
If I remember correctly, I guess 30,000 per year or something like that. If I remember figure, I don't know.
30,000 per year.
Yeah, that was for Klaviyo or for this, but somewhere along that. Yeah.
Oh, 30,000 per year must be.
But again, depending upon the number of channels and obviously vendor expand, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything it can do with real-time interaction.
Yeah.
My goodness, this is like taking AI to the extent that AI should be.
Yeah. Exactly. More comments?
That's my comments.
Shasta, anything to add?
Nothing to add. It's just that I found this a very unique software in that sector, providing their features with the real-time scenario, and I feel like many companies will be attracted to that particular factor before diving into it.
Yeah, as long as they have the budget. Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, Shasta, you
Yeah.
know, every day, every meeting, you always introduce yourself by being really excited to be here, but you never ever seem excited.
Come on, Andy. She's super excited. What are you
Is
talking
she?
about?
Yeah, she holds it in very, very well.
It's just not showing outside.
Is that what it is? Inside you're bursting. Okay, now I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have you on, Shasta. Yeah, I'm
Thank
just,
you.
I'm just,
Andy likes to pick on
I'm
everybody.
just trying
Okay,
to make you
nobody's safe
smile.
in this
That's
world.
all.
Okay.
A smile, a smile. What is it they say? A picture is worth 1,000 words. A smile is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly. Andy's amazing. Anything else, guys?
No,
Close?
that's
Okay, perfect.
really, really, wow, really impressive stuff. Like, holy cow.
Yeah, this is great. This is great.
What a
guys.
world we live in today.
I know, guys. I know. All right, guys. So we are done. That's it. For today. If you joined for the first time, this was part of our industry series for which we meet every Tuesday and we review one vendor of the solution. So make sure you guys are going to be here next week. We are going to come back. On that note, thank you everybody for tuning in today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.